Welcome back to another great day, another wonderful day in
Back
the
on the
lives,
podcast.
Back on the podcast. I mean, what could be better than a couple people alone on a balcony
without anyone else,
no one else,
silent,
alone, silent, quiet,
peaceful,
secluded. A
with
wonderful
nobody,
time, a wonderful place
absolutely
to have
no
a
one.
podcast. I can't wait to film this podcast. I love being
alone on this balcony.
I love being alone on this balcony
It's
with
so
you tonight,
nice
Charlie.
that there's no people watching the podcast.
I'm so happy that I'm just here with you alone tonight. We can have a private conversation. Just me and you. A one-on-one conversation.
One-on-one conversation
because
on camera.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do that if there were other people, for instance.
Yeah, and that would be terrible.
That would be the worst case scenario, and I would be very unhappy. Very unhappy.
Very unhappy.
So, what are we talking about today, Charlie?
It's a great question. Can you pick that up for me down there? We don't have a special guest person today because there are no other people. But we have this.
We have
Explain.
this lovely, one of a kind ukulele made in China. Number 8,884. One of a kind. This was used. I can't do this. This was used by a very, very famous performer back in the late 1600s.
1600s.
Unfortunately, over time,
The plastic hasn't held up.
The plastic has not held up. So when they say that, plastic will not,
Go away.
when you throw it in the landfill, it
For
will.
500 years?
It
Yeah,
will.
it will.
This is proof. Living proof that
Living,
plastic
breathing proof.
will go away quickly. So let's keep using plastic. All right, guys?
Yep.
That's the message of today.
It's cheap.
Use plastic.
It's cheap.
It's so much more cheaper than
Like metal or
anything else, really, honestly.
or even anything renewable.
Do you have
like
anything
wood.
else to say about this?
So this right here, if I could hold that.
Oh,
here.
yes, of course. Hey, be very gentle. These
very gentle.
strings, of the finest quality.
Yes, of the finest quality. Also plastic. They haven't deteriorated yet because
They're a different kind of plastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
let's get a sound.
Would you
get it real close?
Would you like me?
Yeah. You know
I
so
will.
much.
I will hold it. You will string it.
Okay, and we'll put it right next to the sound hole. Here, let me put a chord. Beautiful. Okay. One last thing I would like to say about this antique is it's deteriorated over time, but it was also handled in a way that preserves it.
Yes.
So, if they didn't preserve it by using more plastic, this would be gone. Completely gone. Whatsoever. There'd be nothing left.
There would be nothing left but the 4 strings.
Only the metal screws in the back.
And I forgot about that part.
And the strings, because
That's-
they're made of a different plastic. But yeah, very old, very expensive, antique. You don't want to break this. So,
Let's get that out of the way. I'm just so glad we're here alone.
completely alone. These birds are really annoying, though.
These birds, man. Those Blue Jays are killer. They will defend their territory like it's nobody's business except their own.
Look, they just messed this up.
An antique gone. Lost
Antique
forever.
gone.
Unfortunately,
Trillions of dollars in equity.
That was my savings. I spent all my money on that.
Yeah. And I gave you a loan.
I don't know what to do now.
To split that. Yeah, we're definitely close.
So, you may be wondering if the viewer can hear it. There's a lot of ruckus going on.
I don't know if you can.
Hey, let's not get a little... That's a little risky. Oh my goodness. You're freaking me out, man.
It's fine. I'm in control. But if you can hear that...
You're not.
That ruckus. That's true.
Yes. So, if the viewer heard that, there is actually a riot going on. Yes. You know, I believe last podcast episode, we talked about the death threats against us. Mm-hmm. And actually, this is the culmination of all those death threats.
Yes, and actually, it's multiple riots going on simultaneously.
About completely different things.
Well, wait. There's a riot for us, of course. Yeah. That's constant. That's every day of our lives.
That's a never-ending cycle of rioting.
A riot has actually arisen in Riot to that riot. Our fan base.
I prefer that riot.
Which is actually mostly peaceful. And
except for when they bring out the tomahawks.
Yes. The tomahawks are
There is nothing funny about people tomahawking other people. Yes, I have seen it firsthand. I see it happening right now.
But there are rioters that want to end our lives. So they're really defending us.
For sure. But I shout out to all the tomahawkers out there. I really appreciate them doing the good work so that we can stay up here alone, secluded on this balcony. I really appreciate their efforts to keep us safe and alone and secluded on this balcony.
If they weren't here, we would be swarmed with people.
We would be torn limb from limb.
Yes.
Just as Bob Marley was.
You know what he said, though?
Enlighten the viewer.
No woman, no cry. Wise words from a wise man. We should really think about that. Because we're here alone, just us two, with no women. So, no cry.
No woman, no cry. You take woman, you put woman here, cry. You take woman out, no cry.
No cry at all.
So I really appreciate that.
Wise words.
At least we have that. Mm-hmm. At least we have that. Along with the Tomahawker rioters.
Yeah.
So let's kind of transition from all this happy stuff. Let's dive deeper into a more how to say it, man, depressing topic.
I would have said somber, but yes, depressing.
I don't know if you heard, but there are Rabid-Rabbits that are producing at a rapid rate, and they have actually claimed the lives of 28 Ethiopian babies. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's a tragedy. These rabid rabbits increasing at a rapid rate.
They actually, for short, they just call them.
Yes,
but
of course,
I prefer saying Rabid-Rabbit.
Yes.
Flows off the tongue.
Yes. Also, we don't want to give them dignity and a cool name like. So.
Because that would just.
We don't want to give them any respect.
No.
But the Rabid-Rabbits are terrorizing
Ethiopian babies.
Especially the babies.
Not a single adult Ethiopian, nor teenager Ethiopian, nor anything above baby level is being terrorized. I mean, like the bunnies, baby Ethiopian.
The bunnies
population.
Are about yay high, so it does make sense.
They're about yay high off the floor.
Well, yes, of course. Yay high off the floor.
Yay wide.
Yes. Do you have the stat for how long they are? Because I actually found that stat last night doing some research.
Did you? Can you enlighten us? Because I'm not familiar with how long these Rabid-Rabbits are.
These Rabid-Rabbits, surprisingly, being this high from the floor
and this wide,
are 14.7 meters long on average. but they're only attacking babies. Why do you think that is?
I think, I think if we dig a little deeper, I think we need to be honest with ourselves, the Ethiopian babies, and the Rabid-Rabbits. They're not comfortable. They're a little shy, When they see an adult Ethiopian or anything above baby level, they kind of shrink in. They're not social butterflies. They don't like to branch out and eat new things. They always have known the Ethiopian baby to be scrumptious and easy to obtain. So it's hard for them to change. And honestly, that's the most depressing part of it.
Really those rabid rabbits' inability to change as culture changes and people get bigger. That's really the heart-wrenching part. That they're not willing to change. That they're not willing to grow. That they're not willing to endure. To have endurance.
No endurance whatsoever.
To have joy in the Lord. These rabid rabbits are stuck in their ways. They have nothing. And they can't endure.
They're complacent with their Ethiopian babies. They're not striving for more. They're not seeking out. they're not seeking it out like silver,
Yeah. Or as for hidden treasures.
Exactly. Which is just unfortunate to see, to hear, to read in the news, and yeah. I mean, it's just really unfortunate. It really, it makes me want to rip out all of my organs and then give them to the Rabid-Rabbits as a peace offering, just to make them feel a little better.
That is a very good response to what we've heard today, I think. I think that's what everyone should do.
Maybe that is the main takeaway of the... Maybe that is the main takeaway of this podcast episode. Maybe it's not whatever I said before, or anything else really. Maybe
it boils down.
When you boil it 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 down.
When you boil
what
down.
Do you get when you boil it down, Charlie? Give us a one-line banger.
Donate your organs to the Rabid-Rabbits. For change. For world change.
Put that on a billboard.
Put that on a blimp over every stadium on the planet.
Put that on CNN News, Fox News, all the news.
24/7.
BBC, what?
All day, every day.
BBC Kids,
just like
everything.
Just like
the whole shebang. Throw that thing on Disney Plus. Throw that thing on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can really say anything more. That's it. There's some aggressive birds.
Are there any closing thoughts for us other than what we boiled it down to?
I mean,
halfway.
The like half, like midway. So we're talking about World War II.
We were talking about World War II.
Midway, the Battle of Midway.
Yes.
Now you see,
continue.
I think to really move forward in this conversation, we need to bring it back to Midway.
You can't understand the Rabid-Rabbits' past or their future or the present without delving into the Battle of Midway, because that's where it all started. Are you familiar with the story?
I am. Would you like to share?
I would be most delighted to share with us
most
the
viewers will be
backstory,
surprised.
the origin of the Rabid-Rabbits, about yay high, this wide, and incredibly long.
Incredibly long.
Incredibly long.
On average.
My goodness, are they long?
And some are this short, which that only tells you how long some of the other ones are.
Exactly. So, back to the origin story. The Battle of Midway.
Yes.
We have the United States forces battling the Japanese forces, as I'm sure you know. As sure our viewers
the viewer
know,
knows, of course.
I'm sure most people know that.
Of course.
But what you don't know is they weren't battling over the island itself. They weren't battling for the actual war itself. They were battling for a secret underground laboratory beneath the island of Midway.
Completely unknown to civilians.
Can you take a wild guess as to what was in that secret laboratory? I'm going to give you 3 guesses.
Was it Rabid-Rabbits?
That is absolutely correct. They were genetically modifying
By the Chinese in World War II.
They were genetically modifying rabbits and then Rabid-Rabbits to create this monstrosity of a Rabid-Rabbit. So, we have the normal Rabid-Rabbit, undercased, of course, not capitalized.
Yeah.
And
Just
those
your
are
standard
the
Rabid-Rabbit.
standard
A standard rabbit, which is rabid.
rabidized.
Yes.
And but these genetically modified, as I previously stated, to be just
So rabid.
so rabid,
So rabid.
wide, so tall, and so freakishly long. My goodness,
Scarily long.
are they so long? So that is the true origin story of the Rabid-Rabbits. That is why the Battle of Midway actually took place.
And it was for the control of
We have
that
some
secret
rioters
laboratory.
throwing things at
Yes.
us.
There are some rioters down there.
It's alright, we can fight through the pain.
Our rioters
Indoor.
will fight their rioters. I mean, they're for legal reasons. They are not our rioters.
They are not officially our rioters.
They are not legally our
Let's
rioters.
just say,
but
under the table,
they happen to fight off the rioters.
they
that
happen
want
to
kill
be
us.
on our side metaphorically.
Metaphorically, and
There is no payment exchange going on. It's
only gifts.
no monetary, just free gifts.
Only gifts in both directions. As friends do. For saving our
friends
lives.
do. Yes. Yes. So, do you have any thoughts on this secret laboratory they call it the Laboratory of Midway.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts?
They do call it that.
Do you have any thoughts about this? About anything I just told you? I know you're already familiar with it, but
Of course, we've done our research. We're also very knowledgeable.
I am incredibly
But
knowledgeable.
the viewer probably, most definitely knew about Midway, and perhaps even knew about the Rabid-Rabbits. But
I'm sure they know about it now.
they sure know about it now.
If
I'm
not
sure.
if not from the news, from us.
I am sure. I have breaking news that came in today that laboratory is connected through underground tunnels to the heads of Easter Island.
Sweet Jiminy Crickets. Whatever
Sweet.
will we do?
Jermichael, Jamarcus, John Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt. That's some big news, isn't it?
Copyright.
Oh,
That we didn't mean that.
bleep that.
Didn't mean that. Can we bleep that out?
Yeah.
Watermelon.
Watermelon child face. Okay, that's
So, tunnels. Back to the tunnels.
back to the tunnels.
See,
They're hypersonic.
Easter Islands.
Hypersonic magnetic train tunnels to Easter Island.
How fast could one get from point A to point B?
Hypersonic. So faster than how fast? Then you can run. Faster than a bicycle. And I'm pretty sure, I haven't done the calculation, faster than a three-wheeler.
Would it be faster than a bike with training wheels on it, and also a 300-pound man who eats McDonald's every day? Could it? How fast would it be faster than that? Because I think that could be debatable. That's my personal.
I think it could be, but I would lean towards yes, it is faster. So
I'll keep that in mind next time I'm trying to go from point A to point B.
Or
point B to point A.
Restore Island to Midway, of course.
That is intriguing. I did not know that before today.
Yes. It's breaking news. They just discovered it today.
Well, I'm glad you provided these insights for us. I don't know. What are we?
10 more minutes.
All right. So it appears that we need.
I think our audio cut out.
Our audio has just cut out. Viewer, can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Viewer,
Please.
when did this cut out?
I can't tell. I can't say until we have power.
Do we just cut it?
The rioters must have cut the
The
power.
rioters have cut the power to our
cut the
phones.
power.
Please send more tomahawks to our general vicinity.
We will
please,
appreciate it
Viewer,
and
please.
may give you
We will
gifts
give
in
you
return.
great gifts. Great gifts. Thank you, viewer, for watching.